finish up chapter 9, the review of naming compounds and the review of formula writing are questions that we ask ourselves to write the formulas and to write the names of compounds, especially when iamine and mix together the ionic, molecular, and acids all into one grouping. So we are using those questions with our flip chart to help us identify and write them correctly. The last thing we need to deal with are the two laws for this chapter. So we have the law of definite proportions first. The law of definite proportions states that in samples of any chemical compound, the masses of the elements are always in the same proportions, which is consistent with Dalton's atomic theory. So, basically, for examples, you need to know definite proportions tells us that the chemical formula of something always is the same. So, like, for example, water, we know is H2O. 2 hydrogens for 1 oxygen, there you go. We know that it's not, water can't be H2O2, because H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide, and it doesn't have the correct number of hydrogens to the number of oxygens for the formula. We know that it can't be HO, because that is hydroxide. So the definite proportions basically says that you have set chemical formulas for each compound. If you're talking about a chemical compound, you can't just throw in random subscript numbers. You can't just throw in random atoms and make up however many you want. That's going to change what the compound is. So compounds have set exact chemical formulas. And that's what definite proportions is trying to tell you. It's definite. It's definitely going to be the same every single time for the chemical formulas. The other type of law is the law of multiple proportions, which tells us that when you have two elements, they can form compounds, and they can combine compounds like multiple different kinds of compounds. So the example I have here is nitrogen and oxygens. Okay, so for example, we could have NO, nitrogen monoxide. That's a compound. We could have N2O, dinitrogen monoxide. That's another compound. We could have N4O10, tetranitrogen decoxide. We could have N2O5, dinitrogen pentoxide. So, law of multiple proportions tells us that atoms can form many different compounds together. But it's different than the definite proportions, because we aren't saying that these are all the same compound with the same name. Where that's not what multiple is saying. Multiple is saying that they can just be combined in many different ways. All right?